Hi everyone, the purpose of this video is to introduce a project that was first started about 15 years ago that I co-wrote with a close friend, and I brought this project up to date, re-edited it, reformatted it, done loads of re-annotation of the diagrams. So it's brought it completely up to date, and it centres around the B.O.T.A tarot, which is similar in structure to the Rider-Waite tarot, but it has much more symbolism within each particular card. So that's the reason I've used the B.O.T.A tarot. The rest of the title is really what this project centres around, and it states the Initiate's Journey to Enlightenment. Well, Initiate really refers to my particular spiritual path. I was initiated into the spiritual light and sound decades ago now, and I meditate daily for a couple of hours on the spiritual light and sound that can be seen and heard in meditation. So this project is really all about applying the tarot. There's no divination in this project at all, thank goodness, and what else it does is to go beyond the symbolism of tarot. So the inquiry goes way beyond just looking at tarot as a set of symbols, to apply those symbols to the spiritual path. So I want to make it clear, though this project centres around people that have been initiated into the light and sound, and I'll talk a little bit about that at the end, it's really for anybody who is walking a spiritual path, because many of the experiences people will just have in common. So the actual structure of the project separates the major arcana out into 3 sequences of 7. Here, with the Fool obviously not a part of those sequences, but it will travel between each card in turn. And as you can see, for each card in the same position of its particular sequence, it will have a title above it linking those 3 cards together. So essentially, these 3 sequences are all about finding balance within the physical, emotional and mental qualities within the spiritual seeker. And within this project, there's also a wealth of information about how to improve meditation, or just your spiritual path in general. So the format, as I said, for those that are just wanting to maybe brush up on their B.O.T.A tarot symbolism, there is lots for you to dip into here, although some of these annotations are specifically applied to the initiate or the person on the spiritual path. And indeed, that's what tarot is about. As I've said, it's about applying information going beyond the symbolism and making it relevant to your spiritual journey. And with each card, it focuses on the transition. So the first transition would be between the Fool and the Magician, and it would go through the symbolism of the Magician, and then it would divide the work is divided into 3 sections: the relevance to the initiate or the spiritual seeker, to make it more general, potential challenges for this transition between the Fool and the Magician. What does the Fool stand for? What is the Magician standing for? How does that interrelate to one progressing within themselves? And also guidance for completing this transition, which is essentially guidance for the Fool to complete the journey through the rest of the major arcana. And so the project goes on. There's a little bit of esoteric philosophy thrown in, which is again applied as much as possible, but mainly it's about the practical application of tarot. And if I just take you towards the end here, the cards get quite annotated, so there's lots of information there. Now, the initial body of work was based around the Rider-Waite deck, so sometimes the Rider-Waite deck is referred to. So for those of you that haven't got a Rider-Waite deck in front of you, there are scanned images of a version of the Rider-Waite, the Golden Rider, right at the very end, so you can easily see the symbolism if it differs from the B.O.T.A. And there are a few occasions where it does, and so you'll have all the information there to hand to help you. Now, I did say I would come back to the Light and Sound just to put this project in context. We have a couple of websites. One is the Spiritual Hierarchy, which refers to basically the hierarchy of beings that populate the worlds of spiritual light, and we get transmissions through on a regular basis from them. And as well as a separate Light and Sound meditation website, we have an Awakening and Enlightenment website. Now, I've got to say that none of our teachings are we're not asking for payment for anything, so this isn't a video for promoting us for the benefit of finance. The initiations are free, everything is actually given freely. With the Awakening and Enlightenment website, this is proving very popular because we're finding that lots of people are awakening and they may not have had any spiritual yearnings at all, and it's just something that's hit them out of the blue. Or other people may have just been dabbling a little bit in tarot or astrology, and then they've had some wow moment and they just don't have anyone to really turn to that may have had similar experiences. So again, we're here to help anyone who maybe has had some experience out of the blue and they need some reassurance and to find some context for that. So there are links to this website, indeed all the websites, in the description box below. So thanks for listening, being here. It's been a long time since I've posted, but I will be doing a continuation of the Thoth series this month, so that is coming back as well. I think it's nice to put a bit of positivity out there because obviously it's been a very hard time for many people, and we need to balance that by, well, I feel anyway, by providing a bit of inspiration out there. So anyway, take care of yourselves and I'll see you soon.